Hello everyone, welcome back to Debating for America's Youth. Today we have another awesome guest interview. Today I'm interviewing the 2020 NSDA National Champions in duo interpretation. Today I'm interviewing Jessica Connors and Jonah Johnson. Welcome you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Well, first of all, congratulations on winning duo interpretations at the national tournament. Even though it was online and you couldn't be in the same place for recording, I mean, you guys pushed through it and won.
Yeah.
It turned out awesome.
It was crazy. It was a ride.
Yeah. So my first question is, so this might not apply to future people watching this after 2020, but how did you end up keeping the personability and the ability to, I guess, work well with your duo partner, even though you had to be in different locations? Is there any tricks that you use to, I guess, make it seem like you guys weren't in different environments, or how did you work around that obstacle?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work in making our backgrounds the same. We worked very hard and that just created a very good illusion of us being in the same place with.
Yeah. I mean, also, so our coach is actually from, we're from down in Apple Valley, and our coach is from Minneapolis. So we have actually had a lot of experience of, FaceTime practices. So being able to, know how we work over FaceTime and how to, work with each other over FaceTime was really helpful. We've had a lot of experience, working with each other digitally. So I think that really helped in, the whole process of figuring out how to do it on Zoom. So, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So, I mean, you obviously won the national tournament. In terms of practicing for duo interpretation, what do you guys do for practice? How do you, I guess, get good at memorizing your piece and I guess getting good at performing it?
Digitally or
Wh-
before digital?
Well, let's talk about before digital first, and then we'll move into the digital component.
Well, Jonah and I have been partners for 3 years, so by now we kind of know how each other works. We have our memorizing down. Yeah, we just work really, really well together, and I think that is super helpful in everything that we've done in practice and stuff like that.
Yeah, like she said, we worked together for 3 years, and also with our coach, the same coach for 3 years. And it's just a lot of getting to know each other, and we did great last year and again this year. So I guess it's just knowing how each other works. And I think building a partnership early and carrying that on throughout high school is super, super helpful in working together better and getting the chemistry down as far as performing and practice goes.
That makes sense. And then is there anything different for the online component that you would add?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same. It's just it's digitally, so that was kind of interesting. But as far as practicing goes, I think it's mostly the same as how our coaches gives notes and how we work off of each other. It was surprisingly the same.
Makes sense. And then another question. So comedian, or I guess magicians Penn and Teller, they are really great together obviously in their performances, but they say that after their performances or when they're not performing, they kind of keep their distance, they don't annoy each other. Do you guys work well when you're not doing duo, or do you generally try to keep I guess a separation when you're not performing, so then you don't bother each other too much?
No, I think I would consider Jonah one of my best friends. We hang out outside of speech. I have gotten annoyed at him. We have had our fights, but we're definitely friends outside of duo.
I mean, we actually are in theater together too.
Yes.
And since I was a 7th grader and she was an 8th grader, we've been doing plays together.
Mm-hmm.
Our first play actually was Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, and she was the
White Witch, and he was my little
dwarf
munchkin guy.
So,
and just last year we played Belle and Gaston. So we work together in a lot of different shows and things. So
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so obviously you've done theater in the past. How do you get over those speaking nerves? I guess not really in the digital online nationals, but in previous tournaments you've been to, and also for theater things you do.
I still get nervous, honestly. For example, at Night Talk last year, we were in the final round, and I was scared to perform. I still get nervous to perform. And I guess online was actually, easier because you're not in front of people. But, when we were filming the online thing, I was actually still getting, those performance vibes and still getting kind of nervous. So
I think something that has helped me the most, one of my coaches once said, take those butterflies in your stomach and fly them in formation. So like using those nerves and that energy to then just direct the energy and use it to your advantage. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So when you're doing duo interpretation, you obviously have like a lot of like really good competition. How do you stand out to the judges in a crowd full of like really qualified duo interpretation competitors?
Well, honestly, my favorite thing to make me feel good about the performance is like adding as much tech as I can. I am huge fan of technical stuff. I don't know if any of you have seen our performance, but if you do, you'll see that we have a lot of like technical and like fight scenes, and that's just, I think, one of the coolest things is, and will appeal to the judges, is being in sync and having like cool tech and unique tech. I think the judges will really like latch onto that right away and be like, oh, this is a piece I should watch.
yeah, just for us, being clean and standing out with our tech is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then when you're obviously doing duo interpretation, you have to kind of sync up. How do you kind of like, I guess, keep synchronized like during your duo interpretation piece?
What do you say?
How do we like synchronize during duo?
I don't know. It's a joke, but like because we've been partners for 3 years, I say like we breathe the same. Like when
Yeah.
we're together, when we're in person and able to perform together, I can like hear him breathe and know exactly when he's gonna move or exactly. So just so much practice in like mirrors or like windows. Like
I think a big thing that helped too is in our first year of speech and debate, we were actually both in humor. So Jessica was a freshman, and she was what they call a novice in our state, and I was an 8th grader at the same time. And so we both started at the same time, and we both started with humor. And of course, in humor, it comes with a lot of like popping and being sharp and clean. And I think because we both started off with like that skill set, and we got taught that skill set from our humor coach, we kind of were able to like adapt that into duo right away. And with our first duo, it was actually a humorous duo. So it was a lot of like popping and being sharp and clean. And I think that was really helpful to like start off in a different event and then carry those skills over to duo.
Totally. What do you think is the best way for people to find pieces to use for duo interpretation?
I honestly think just keep searching until you find something that you really love. We had many different pieces that we could have chose this year, and I think we read through all of them. We did some like speak-throughs through all of them, and once we found one that we thought we could be most creative with, like technically or like physically, I think we were like, oh yeah, let's do that. And then we just stuck with it. I don't think we never in each year had like a change of pieces. So I think sticking with your piece, no matter how you feel about it, I think originally you made the right decision to choose that piece for a reason.
Definitely. And then in terms of like advice for a novice who's just getting started in duo interpretation, like what do you think's the like a biggest piece of advice to tell a novice?
Probably stick with it. Like there are going to be times when your category feels overwhelming or hard, or like your piece, like Jonah said, like it'll feel like, oh, you might just want to switch pieces, or if you have like if Jonah ever annoyed me, like, but just the fact that we were able to stick together and continue to keep working and sticking with our pieces, even if we had to go back and change a bunch of things, like just sticking with it is super important.
And something our team talks about a lot is saying like yes and. So when your coaches are like, would you be willing to do this? You say yes, and then you like add stuff on top of that, and you're able to like be creative, I think is a huge thing. Just positivity all around for novices. Don't be afraid to stick through it because it pays off in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And then at the end, do you have a message for the speech and debate community and for everyone who's watching? I'll say that a lot of people took this question in the direction of like things that they would like to see the speech and debate community work on and improve, and other people talked about things that they are like thankful for. So what would you like to say to the speech and debate community?
Towards the NSDA, I'm very thankful for how real they kept nationals feeling. Like, as far as like breaks went, and like finals went and having the live streams up, I just want to give a huge shout out to NSDA for making it feel as close to real nationals as they could over the online platform. Mm-hmm. I just think that they did such a good job with having everybody be able to watch finals and being able to like see every performance in like those prelim rounds via the Google Classrooms platform. And I just think they kept it so close to what nationals really is.
Yeah, they totally worked super hard, and thank you for not giving up on duo and figuring out a way to make it work. And we just had so much fun, and we're super happy that we had the opportunity to finally perform or have a final performance that we didn't think we would get. So
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and kind of sharing some of your, I guess, opinions and voice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.